Alright, now we're going to start off with the Writing Awards section here, and the first that we have for the Writing Awards is the best and the worst catchphrase or slogan of the year. So what thing that they kept saying repeatedly over and over and over again did you hate?
Hate?
What was the worst catchphrase or slogan of the year?
Had to be the whole "that's good for business" scenario, where it's not good for business, good for business. I feel like that's a slap in the face of every fan every time he said that, because he knew that it got under people's skin. It was like, oh, well, Randy Orton is what's good for business. And it just made my skin crawl.
I had a tie between Antonio Cesaro doing that stupid yodel thing.
Oh, I remember that.
He did for a couple weeks, and 1-800-FELLA.
Fella! Oh, God. I forgot he existed.
I don't know whose idea that was, but that was stupid as hell. Both of them, stupid as hell.
I forgot he existed.
What do you think was the best catchphrase?
It really wasn't a catchphrase, but they played it a lot during their promos. And it was this man right here, where he went and said, "Your arms are just too short to box with a god." It was, but that promo was phenomenal, and I used that in my life, even though I can't box.
You're standing in line,
waiting for guacamole at Chipotle, and just go, oh. They're like, "Oh, we're out of guacamole, sir. I'm sorry. Well, your arms are just too short to box with a god. Go make some guacamole."
You're not gonna like this, but I had a tie. Daniel Bryan's yes and no with best for business.
Oh, God! Terrible!
I think they go hand in hand.
People power!
You need the best in business to piss the fans off and get over with the crowd that way, and you need the yes to get the fans excited a bit and fight against the authority that way. So I'm going with a tie on that one because I couldn't pick which one was more over with the crowd. I mean, the yes one is technically over more with the crowd, but
God, yeah.
But the best for business that just gets under people's skins and does exactly what it's supposed to do. So kudos to WWE for pulling that off. Who had the best and the worst gimmick of the year? The character that got over with the crowd really well and was entertaining, and the character that was really stupid and nobody gave a shit about. So the worst gimmick of the year out of everybody in WWE.
It's going to have to go to Tons of Funk. I like Brodus Clay as the Funkasaurus, but then you brought Sweet Tea into it, and it was like, oh God, he's Albert again. You came back as a monster. You were supposed to be someone who was fantastic in Japan, and you came back as Sweet Tea. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. You weren't even that mighty.
I'm going with something that people probably aren't going to recognize because it popped up just in the middle of nowhere and they never built upon it or anything like that. It's Leon Bone Crusher Baker and Rufus Pancake Patterson.
What?
Primetime players called themselves that and acted like different characters for like 2 weeks or something.
I remember that.
Yeah, they called me Rufus Pancake Patterson because I flatten fools or whatever he had said.
That's when they came out talking to Cena, right?
And they had the afros on and all that. That was stupid as hell.
Still had the whistle though.
It was funny because it was so ridiculous, but at the same time, I don't know what the hell they were thinking with Rufus Pancake Patterson.
Rufus is like a stereotypical black name too. Like, couldn't be like Carlton.
So Pancake and Bone Crusher, you get my worst. Who do you think had the best gimmick of the year?
Fandango. Like I said, he annoyed me in the previous segments. If you're watching, he annoyed me when he first debuted, and then it took off, and he hooked me. So
I almost gave the Fandango, who I gave the best entrance to, the person I almost gave it to, it's Bray Wyatt. I almost gave it to Fandango for this. Gave this to Bray Wyatt. Because the Bray Wyatt gimmick is really cool, and it's something different. They're trying to do some creepy cult thing, which they're not going straight Undertaker.
We're here.
They're doing bringing out a lantern, which is like, it's, if you just said to somebody like, oh, it's so cool, he brings out a lantern, it would sound ridiculous. But at the same time, when he brought out that lantern, people were like, that's kind of cool, he's bringing it out. Something very stupid like that ends up getting over with the crowd. And you have Eric Rowan and Luke Harper, two people who have no gimmick other than being associated with Bray Wyatt. It's a strong enough gimmick that it holds up two other people, and they're pretty big guys.
Yeah, and he wrestles in white pants.
Yeah,
kudos. Yeah. Don't have any skid marks. Well, no.
That's a whole new gimmick.
We're here.
Alright, we have another new category here, the heel or the face turn of the year. Who had the best turn character-wise and who had the worst. Now, it's not broken down, the best heel turn and the worst heel turn, best face turn, it's just taken a turn period. So you could have turned heel or face, best or worst. Who had the worst turn in the year?
It was a tie for me. One, because I didn't care, and that was Del Rio. And two, Triple H, he did it really bad. Like, I like him as a heel, but when he first turned, he still got cheered for things he did. Mm-hmm. Like, he would come out and he would say, oh, Daniel Bryan's not really top tier level. And then he goes, but Daniel Bryan's going to have a match tonight for the WWE champ. Like, come on, dude. Make up your damn mind. Do you want to be booed? Do you want to be cheered? He would just do things that were heelish, which heel Triple H really can piss me off, which is good. Where he did things that were face. Like, come on, dude. You're not the Generation X anymore. You don't have to have the crowd go, he's here. So it was a tie between the two. Triple H probably inching out Del Rio more because I don't care about Del Rio.
Is that Del Rio's face turn or heel turn or both?
Both. Like both of them.
The transition between them.
It was irrelevant to me. They just needed him to. They needed the other guys to get over, so they just moved him where he had to be to make it happen.
Layla's heel turn, because who remembers that she turned heel in the first place? Who gave a shit when she turned heel? When she turned heel, she didn't do it in a way that mattered, and she's been completely absent ever since she turned heel. So, utterly pointless to turn her heel, because right now, if she comes back at all, she's probably just going to come back as a babyface.
They turned her heel right before the breast cancer month, and then had her do all those crying commercials.
About,
how she lost her mother and everything.
Right, and it's like, what, you're supposed to boo that? No, I'm not going to do that.
We'll boo John Cena and Make-A-Wish, but not Layla and breast cancer.
So who had the best turn out of everybody then?
I'm really digging the recent Brodus Clay turn that's happening, and because I feel like he could be projected into the main event. He's losing weight.
Main event player.
Yeah, he's losing weight. He's slimming down, and he may be eventual Cena food. That's probably the only reason they're beating him, like boosting him a little bit to give Cena a monster face. And there's a subtle one happening, and I don't know if it's intentional or if it's going to stick or if it's just because his best buddy's Triple H. But HBK has been subtly doing heel things, and when HBK's heel, that's when you get the best entertainment out of
When
him.
he tells you, shut your pie holes.
Brother. Oh, brother.
Cody Rhodes turning babyface. I think Cody did a really good job. He started off the year really not, mattering. I mean, for the most part. He was a part of a tag team that was an entertaining tag team, but they got cut off at WrestleMania, which shows how important he was. And they built him up enough that the fans really cared during that Money in the Bank match. They wanted him to win. And Damian Sandow winning just solidified that he's going to have a babyface turn. And ever since then, he's not only been at the forefront of the tag team division and having a damn good tag team match repeatedly with Goldust. I mean, I don't think they've had a bad tag team match ever since then. But he's in a good position right now where if they break those two up and they have a match at WrestleMania or whatever, that could put him in that upper mid-card spot.
Easily. The feud that followed after Money in the Bank was, I think, the most interesting of the summer. Sandow and Rhodes, because they were best friends. You got that best friend vibe from them, the way they would act and talk and stuff like that, and then they ran with it. So, yeah, he's on fire.
Great babyface turn for Cody Rhodes. Alright, now, when we come to the Retro Comeback Award, that essentially breaks down to who had the best comeback from an old superstar making an appearance, and who had the worst. Who came back, and you kind of wish that they would have just stayed away. Who was the worst?
Bret Hart. He's boring.
Which time with Bret Hart? Anything specific, or just every time?
Most of the Slammies specifically, he has no personality. He didn't have much personality when he was actually wrestling, and now that he's older, you can tell he just clearly does not care, and he has even less. He was pretty good on the pre-show because he was stuck between, I think, Booker and Foley. So to have him as the straight guy in the center, not making any emotions, and having Booker T going crazy and laughing, I'm like, and Bret's just like, what? That was good, but I mean, he's just dry and boring.
Mae Young at Old School Raw. But it really could have been Mae Young at anything, because every time Mae Young comes out, I hate it.
That was when they brought the hand back, right, as an adult?
I did the hand and everything. The hand bringing back is awesome, but Mae Young just I don't like it. I don't like the the sex jokes that they do because it's not my sense of humor. I feel uncomfortable watching her when she comes back. Like she's always kind of like shaky.
I think she's clinically dead.
And like sometimes they put her in like matches and stuff and
put her through a table with the Dudley Boys.
If they do that, I would instantly make that the best comeback of the year. I want to see like
Devon.
I want to see Randy Orton pull her down using the ropes, and she can smack her head on the table the way that John Cena did with TLC.
Where he sets her up for the punt, just kills her. R.I.P. Mae Young.
Who had a good comeback this year?
There were so many. I think just as an honorable mention, and he didn't. It's just huge if you think about it and you think of the history and the work. And he's not my favorite, but the honorable mention is San Martino. There was so much tension between him and Vince McMahon Jr. And for him to go in the Hall of Fame really gives the Hall of Fame meaning. For him to show up on Raw, even though he just came out and waved, also it's like, all right, he recognizes that the company's in a better place than what he perceived in the 90s.
2 months ahead of time.
Yeah, 2 months ahead of time. And hearing his Hall of Fame speech was pretty awesome, too. Gave me chills. I didn't know too much about San Martino. I knew he's a legend. He's synonymous with the WWE Championship, and that was good. As a marking out moment, it probably the New Age Outlaws. They had a good run in the tag division against Cody and Sandow. So when it came to a wrestling aspect, those two guys. But San Martino was just San Martino.
Plus, they came out wearing the Dumb and Dumber suits.
Yes, they did.
TNA actually did first. I gotta give TNA credit for it, but that makes me sad. So fuck them. They don't. I give it to Goldust.
Yes.
Goldust has had a hell of a year. He looks better now than he has looked in maybe ever.
Yeah, 44 and kicking ass.
Doing better than the 25-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
So kudos to Goldust on that one. I don't know how he did it, but he's certainly not Black Rain anymore.
No, he knows he's on his last leg.